this sermon is Tim Unfiltered. And so let me start with a preface. The things I'm going to be talking about is COVID, Jesus, and you. I am not a doctor, nor a nurse, nor a scientist. You're going to be hearing Tim's opinion connected to some truths that I'm hoping will open our eyes. The current population in Ohio is 11.73 million people. Okay? It's a lot of people. There have been 4,623 deaths from COVID in Ohio. So in Ohio, the chance of you getting COVID and dying is 0.04%. You have a 99.96% chance of surviving COVID. Now, if you're under 70, there have only been 16 deaths for those under 70 in Wayne County. So your survival rate is 99.99% if you're under 70 years old. Why are we acting like we're all going to die? Because I think the fear-demic has been greater than the pandemic has ever been. Who told you to be afraid? Who told you to be afraid? Was it God? Was it the media? Was it politicians? Was it somebody trying to sell you something? I don't think it was God. Because when I read my scriptures, I see all throughout, over and over and over again, two words that God says to those when they're afraid. Fear not. Why? Because He is with us. That's why it's called live hope and give hope. If we're not given hope, we're really not living it. We don't have it. Our hope is in something else. Our hope might be, maybe for some of us, our hope is that things will go back to normal. I'm going to tell you something. It's never going back to your old normal. It's not. Some of you are like, as soon as the election's done, we're going back to... See, the reality with pandemics is it's got to run its course. We got another year and a half of this. We got another year and a half of figuring out what's going on. And the disease continue to do its thing. Like, this isn't going to end real quick. And so if we're thinking, I just want to get back to my normal, you're going to be waiting a long time and you're going to lose a lot of life in the process if you're walking in fear during this season. We have to choose personally, as Christians, what do we do in the midst of COVID with Jesus in our lives? We are called to do good as Christians. That's why this is Live Hope and Give Hope, because we're supposed to do good. We're supposed to do the good things we're called to do. We're not supposed to sit on our hands and not do things. We're supposed to get off of them and do the good things all around us every day to those who are with us, so that we silence the ignorant talk and foolish people, meaning we represent Christ well. We represent the kingdom of heaven well as Christians. When people see us, they see heaven. They see God. And my question is, when they see you, do they see what they would like to have in heaven? Because it's God's will for us to look like that, to look like heaven here on earth. Faith, hope, and love. Faith leads to hope leads to love, and love is always an action. It's not a feeling. If you love the family of Christ, what are you doing with it? What are you doing with them? How are you connecting? And how are you growing? Are you in a small group of people? That's why we have small groups, so you can experience life together. How are you being challenged when you're out of line biblically? How are you being challenged when life is going sideways? Who is encouraging you when hope seems lost? Like, that's the body of Christ. That's what we're called to be for one another. Let us consider how we can spur one another on towards love and good deeds. That's where we should be going fast. Love and good deeds. Verse 25, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the capital D day approaching. That capital D day is when Jesus returns. That's when God puts everything back into order the way He designed it to be. What was in the garden before sin will be in eternity with Him forever when that day comes. That's where our hope is. That's where our eternal hope is.